Mo Rocca, I got to tell you, before we even get started, I was with AJ Jacobs yesterday, and he would come and he would never invite me back to a podcast if I didn't say hello to you from him.
Very nice. He's terrific. He's terrific, and his show's really fun.
Oh my God, what you did on that show, and I like the way that you played right along with it, dude.
He made it really easy. I mean, really.
Well, here we go with more MoBituaries. I am so addicted to this, and what you do is you teach me not only the history, but go learn some more, guy. Go learn more about what I'm talking about, and really bring some fun to your own life.
You know, it's for me. I love digging little rabbit holes, and these topics are really fun. Our first episode this season. I bring Anderson Cooper in and a couple of obit writers to talk about famous people who died on the same day. Just one of those weird things that I always kind of wondered about, like Farrah Fawcett and Michael Jackson. You know, she dominated the headlines for the first half of the day. Then Michael Jackson died, and people forgot about her right away. But there are lots of cases of that, and so that's been fun. And we have an episode coming up on things I wish would die. And I know this is a little bit controversial, but I really had hoped that the pandemic would kill off hot open food bars, the all-you-can-eat buffets. They've roared back to life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. When you go into this, I mean, do you find yourself being a silent watcher or a silent wolf? Because it seems like everything that you touch, it's you observe it first, and then you say, there's a story here, and I need to share it.
Yes, because I think you got to a lot of this is coming from my gut and from things that I've been thinking about for a while, and that I kind of let, marinate and think and really think about how much I care about them. I suppose I'm saying sometimes I'm just sort of intrigued by the things, but yeah, I think I'm sort of observing and thinking before I'm committing.
One of the things that you put focus on is the accent that dominated culture. It's not the Southern accent, is it?
It's not. It's what people call the Mid-Atlantic accent. And it was this accent, if you watch Turner Classic Movies, any black and white movie, you'll notice people talking like this and not pronouncing their R's. And I wanted to know where that accent came from, which sounds more and more alien to us these days, and why it died away. It sort of started going away after World War II, but people really talked like that in real life. It was kind of Britishy, but not really.
See, the accents I've always loved them, especially here in the South, because I believe that the heat or the atmosphere played along with it, because it's so darn hot down here. So that Southern Charleston accent's like this. I mean business, you know that. And it's like, where's your inflection, dude? Jump into it.
And one thing that's interesting about the Southern accent, and John McWhorter, the New York Times columnist, who's also a linguist, is on that episode with me. He said, listen, in the Northeast, the accents were R-less. They didn't pronounce an R, like FDR said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And JFK, of course, was R-less, meaning no R's at the end of his words, not pronounced. But the Southern accent was also R-less, but McWhorter says it's because there is no R in the languages of West Africa, and that a lot of those enslaved people who came over, the way that they ended up speaking English sort of bled into the way that white people were speaking it. So it's interesting.
Jim Thorpe. A lot of people have forgotten about this man, but not you. In your MoBituaries, you give us an opportunity to really see a side of him.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Thorpe was, at the time, regarded as the greatest athlete in American history. Yep. He was voted over Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, the greatest athlete in a poll in 1950. But some people today still believe that he is, and it is remarkable what he achieved on and off the field. But this is a guy who, was the multi-sport athlete well before, Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders. He was a pro football player, an All-American college player, a pro baseball player, and then he had a surprising third act in Hollywood.
Wow.
So,
Wow. It's I'm was very proud to hear that story about Jim, and the reason being is because so many people have forgotten about number 23. Because they're thinking of all these other basketball players, and I'll go, what about Michael Jordan? He played here in Charlotte many times, and they're going, no, I can't relate with you. And it's like, but I'm glad that you're talking about Jim.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and we also have this season Peggy Lee, who was, a giant in the 1950s and 60s. And she's remembered less and less. And she was great. She was a master. She was great.
Yeah, yeah. See, it's little gems like this that you get us to go and find out and to listen to the music, such as Peggy Lee, and then we're reminded, oh my God, these songs are a major part of today because people were inspired by them in chapters past.
Yeah. Yeah, I think exactly. That's sort of. I mean, look, I enjoy. I hope people can hear how into these lives I am, and that's kind of what I hope to do. I hope to make you interested in something that you didn't expect to be interested in.
Of all the things that you do, is the writer the one that controls everything? Because, the way you write is exactly what Mark Twain would say. You have kept your writing accent exactly the way it needs to be.
Well, thank you. I mean, I do think that writing, whenever people ask me advice when they said they want to go into entertainment or journalism, I said, it's not the most sexy piece of advice, but you got to work on your writing.
Yep.
Like that's the key. That's the tool for making this stuff work. And you just have to keep going back to it. And in the case of a podcast, I think the more personal you can make it, the more attractive it is to an audience.
Yeah, and what you do with CBS is just as attractive, sir. Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you, Arrow. I really appreciate it.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Okay, thanks, man. Thank you.